Radhe, Dandavat Pranam. Welcome to Shri Radha Vinu Bihari Mandir, Gopinath Bhavan, Shri Vrindavan Dham. Today's a very exciting day.
Kishori's wearing a different kurta.
Yes. So that Kishori Didi might be able to differentiate today from yesterday. Also, the weather in Vrindavan is very beautiful. It was gorgeous this morning with a beautiful, I wouldn't even call it dhir samir. It was a nice breeze, a cool breeze, and quite dry compared to the humidity.
First day since monsoon season.
Yes, and then it became quite overcast, and now the wind is kicking up a lot, and it's about to storm, which means we might get cut off. But if that happens, then we'll try to switch to the other connection and the other one and the other one, and if that doesn't work, then we'll just chant our heads off.
Just try to bear with us. It may be a bad connected night, but we will try to stay connected.
Yes.
Dandavat Pranam, all Vaishnavas. I see so many beautiful devotees. Lavanga, Govindarupini Didi, Ramya Devi, Mahavishnudas, Jivapavana Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam to all of you and everyone who's maybe there but I don't see. Dandavat Pranam.
I just feel so fortunate that all of you come regularly and grace us with your presence. It's just nice to know that so many wonderful devotees are with us. So, we will begin with Mangalacharan, page 1 of this book, Sri Gauriya Giti Guccha. That's it. Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yutapada Kamalam.
Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Namine Shri Krishna Lila Katane Sudaksham Madhya Madhurya Gunashta Yuktam Varam Varenyam Purusham Mahantam Narayanam Vam Shiva Shantamami Tridam Ginam Bhakta Shiromanim Cha Shri Krishna Pada Jugataika Hindi Chaitanya Leelamrita Sarasar Narayanam Vam Satatam Prabhate Namaho Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityanamine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine सश्रितानं च पाणिने जीवदुःखे सदर्पाय श्रीनाम प्रेमदायिने नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिसिद्धान्तो सरस्वतीति नामिने श्रीवर्षभारती देवी दयिताय कृपाभये कृष्णसम्बन्धविज्ञान दयिने ब्रह्मवे नमः माधुर्योज्ज्वलप्रेमध्य श्रीरूपानुगभक्तिदा श्रीगौरकरुणाशक्ति विग्रहाय नमोऽस्तुते नमस्ते गौरवाणि श्रीमूर्तये दिनकारिणे रूपानुगम्यरूपापसिद्धान्तग्रन्थहारिणे नमो गौरकिशोराय साक्षाद्वैराग्यमूर्तये विप्रलम्भारसम्बोधे पदं भुजायते नमः नमो भक्तिविनोदाय सच्चिदानन्दनामिने घोरशक्तिस्वरूपाय रूपानुगमनायते घोराविर्भावभूमिस्त्वं निर्दिष्टा सचलप्रिय वैष्णव सर्वभौम श्रीजगन्नाथाय ते नमः वञ्चाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरद्विषे नमः हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये जयतां सुरतो भङ्गो मम मन्दं मते गति मत्सर्वस्वप्नम्बोजो राधामदनमोहन दिव्यवृन्दारण्यकल्पद्रुमदं श्रीमद्रत्नाकारसिंहासनस्थो श्रीराधा श्रीरघुविन्ददेवो प्रेष्ठाभिः सेव्यमानुस्मरामि श्रीमन्द्रसरसारम्भीमं शिवन्ततस्थितः हर्षेन्दुस्मरयोगि गोपीनाथ श्रीस्तुनः वृन्दाय तुलसीदेव्यै प्रियाय केशवस्य च कृष्णभक्तिप्रदे देवी सत्यवत्यै नमो नमः पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम् जय श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासरि गौरभक्तवृन्द चैत्रोदर्पणमार्जनं भवमहादाभक्तिनिर्वापनम् श्रेयत्रैरवचन्द्रिकावितरणं नित्याविधो जीवनम् आनन्दं मुनिवर्धनं प्रतिपदं पूर्णामृताश्वादनं सर्वात्मस्नपनं param vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Hare Nam Hare Nam Eva Kevalam Kalu Naste Manaste Manaste Gati Yanneva Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Rama Ram Hare Hare.
Jaya Jaya Shri Guru Prema Kalpataru.
Page 29 in the small songbook. And as always, very happily to announce, if you don't have a songbook at hand, Jiva Pavana Prabhu performs the extraordinary seva of posting all of the bhajans and kirtans that we're singing. So even though we might be all over the world, we can join in unison in sweet kirtan together. So search for the latest post from Jiva Pavana Prabhu in the thread, and you'll find the kirtan we're about to sing. So Jiva Pavana Prabhu, our sincere Dandavat Pranam for that beautiful seva.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Jai Jai Shri Guru 29.
Gurudeva Jaya, Vaišnava Doyar Sagar Edase Purna Puri. Page 39.
Shunyachi sadhu mukhe.
Page 51. Starts with Suniyyachi. Shunyachi sadhu mukhe.
Shunyachi sadhu mukhe bole sarvojana Shri Rupa Kripaya Mile Dhruvarachara
Akrodha Paramananda.
Yeah. Page number 60. Akrodha Paramananda, A-K-R-O-D-H-A. Akrodha Paramananda. And again, if you don't have a songbook next to you, just keep scrolling to the latest or newest post from Jiva Pavana Prabhu, and you will see that he is very kindly and mercifully searching all the kirtans and bhajans and adding them so that we can all sing in sweet kirtan together. So keep searching. Also, he posts so much nectar. I think he's already started.
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Gaurangera Dutipada, Jaradhana Sampada, page 74. And in case you don't know, based on our experience with our Srila Gurudev over the years, and all of the different bhajans that we witnessed him requesting devotees to sing, this bhajan was his favorite. Whenever he would ask for this one to be sung, specifically we remember many times when he would ask Sudevi to sing it, usually there was a time limit for the bhajans. You know, at a certain point, he would say, okay, it's time to wind up, let's continue with the class. With that bhajan, Gaurangera Dutipada, page 74, Srila Gurudev would hold up 2 fingers. That means sing each line twice, and there would be no time limit. So not only was it double length, but he would close his eyes and he would sing along with it, but in a very deep and grave mood. So it has a very deep connection to us, how Srila Gurudev would dive deep into this Gaura Prema Ras, this ocean of Gaura Prema.
Even in Bengal Prachar, he had me get up on stage.
Right, how many people were there? Thousands of people in this Pandal program in Piali. And this was early 2010. We had just come back from South Africa from our preaching engagement there with Srila Gurudev. And so we met him at Bengal Prachar in Piali, and there was a panda with thousands and thousands of people there. And Gurudev called Sudevi to come up on stage, kind of had to move the saffron out of the way, and he told her to sing that bhajan, Gaurangera Dutipada. Very grave mood.
And then he started chastising He was very strong and chastising. Look, they're all wearing tilak, they're wearing dhoti, they're wearing kanti mala. You're losing your life, you're losing your culture. And he would tell them, look at how you were born in such a place as this. You have such an inheritance and you're giving it up for nothing, for Western culture. Very few were wearing dhotis, no one had tilak. And Gurudev sat there and chastised everyone and then invited them to come to Navadvip Parikrama and to come and to partake in the beauty of Mahaprabhu. And that's interesting because the first bhajan we sang, Jai Jai Shri Guru, and there it's saying, even without me asking, without me even wanting it, he bestowed Harinam on me. And I was closing my eyes singing that, and I was thinking of Srila Prabhupada sitting in the park chanting. Even without wanting it or even knowing what it was, he was giving the Mahamantra to everyone. And then we were singing this about Nityananda Prabhu. You can purchase me, please purchase me by just chanting Gaura Hari.
Gaura Hari.
And then Gurudev going there and chastising. Don't give up this very rare human form of life for any material pursuit. You've been given such a beautiful form, the human form of life. Take it seriously. And then he would bring them all on Navadvip Parikrama and give them Krishna. Even without them wanting it, he would give and give and give. So this is one of the bhajans that reminds me of that, the jewels that we have been given, the secret entrance into Braj, and how we just let it go day by day. But Gurudev was so serious during this kirtan. Every time he would close his eyes and sing along. So it was heartbreaking and hopeful at the same time.
Would you like to read it?
No.
Gorangero Samigane Nitya Siddha Korimane Se Jai Brajendra Sudopa Shri Gaurananda Bhumi Jai Ma Jane Chintamani Utar hoy braj bhume ma Gora prema sarnave se tarange jivanve se Radha Madhava Antarango se Radha Madhava se Radha Madhava Antarango se Radha Grihe Vagorite Thake Hagorango Mune Rake Grihe Vagorite Thake Hagorango Mune Rake
भजहुरेमन श्रीनंदनंदन अभय चरणारविंदरे
Page number
137.
The way this songbook is so confusing.
Kripana गिरिधारी श्याम मनवारी मेरो राधा मेरो राधा रमण गिरिधारी गिरिधारी श्याम मनवारी मेरो मेरो राधा रमण गिरिधारी गिरिधारी श्याम मनवारी मेरो ओ मेरो राधा रमण गिरिधारी ओ मेरो राधा रमण गिरिधारी मेरो राधा रमण गिरिधारी गिरिधारी श्याम मनवारी मेरो ओ गिरिधारी श्याम मनवारी ओ गिरिधारी श्याम मनवारी ओ मेरो राधा रमण गिरिधारी ओ गिरिधारी श्याम मनवारी ओ मेरो राधा रमण गिरिधारी गिरिधारी श्याम मनवारी मेरो ओ गिरिधारी कुंज विहारी ओ गिरिधारी रास विहारी ओ गिरिधारी विनोद विहारी ओ गिरिधारी विनोद विहारी ओ गिरिधारी विनोद विहारी ओ मेरो राधा रमण गिरिधारी गिरिधारी श्याम मनवारी मेरो राधा रमण गिरिधारी गिरिधारी श्याम मनवारी मेरो Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare O मेरो राधा रमण बिहारी, गिरिधारी श्याम बनवारी, ओ गिरिधारी श्याम बनवारी, ओ गिरिधारी हो कुंज बिहारी, ओ गिरिधारी हो रास बिहारी, ओ गिरिधारी विनोद बिहारी, ओ गिरिधारी विनोद बिहारी, ओ जय जय राधा रमण गिरिधारी, ओ गिरिधारी श्याम बनवारी, ओ गिरिधारी श्याम बनवारी, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम, राम राम, हरे हरे, तो गौर हरि बोल, हरि बोल, हरि बोल, हरि बोल। जय गुरुदेव, 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 जय गुरुदेव। जय प्रभुपाद, 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 जय प्रभुपाद। सुशीलताय गौर प्रेमानंदे, हरि हरि बोल, गुरुदेव की जय, प्रभुपाद की जय, महानंद भक्त की जय, गौर भक्त वृंद की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। Thank you. Can you wait a minute? गुरुवे गौरचंद्राय राधिकाय तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपदाय राधिकाय प्रियात्मने श्रीमद् भक्तिवेदान्त नारायण नित्यनामिने। नमः ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी नित्यनामिने। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yat kripatamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam. First of all, I offer my Dandava Pranam thousands of times in the dust of the lotus feet of our beloved Gurudev, Nitya Lila Pravishta visnupada, astottara Shri Srimad Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaja. And the same thousands of Dandava Pranam in the dust of the lotus feet of Nitya Lila Pravishta visnupada, astottara Shri Srimad Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, and to all of our Rupanuga, Gaudiya Guru Varga, and to all Vaishnavas past, present, and future, including all of you who are present with us today, I offer my Dandava Pranam.
Dandava Pranam, dear Vaishnavas, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. So before continuing with going beyond Vaikuntha, yesterday I misquoted one personality. I said that Srila Bhaktivedanta Bharati Maharaj said something, but it wasn't him. It was Sadananda Swami, the disciple of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada from Germany. And I also mentioned something about Bhishma Dev, which was corrected by someone who is much more read in Mahabharata than myself, Sudevi.
Well, it was written for women, so...
She said, well, it was written for women, so it says it there. It's written for women. So, I said something about Bhishma Dev. One of the reasons why he was, of course, killed in the battlefield of Kurukshetra was because he was siding with the demons. But Sudevi corrected me that at the time when the Pandavas were brought to the palace of Lac, and when it was set on fire and they had to arrange to escape in the middle of the night, at that time Bhishma Dev wasn't aware of that. So Devi told me that at that time the only one who found out was Vidura, and Vidura was the one who warned them. When Bhishma Dev found out that the house of Lac was burnt, and they actually had those 5 burnt bodies that they were not able to detect. At that time, Bhishma Dev,
6 bodies, right?
Sorry, 6, the 5 Pandavas and Kunti. When Bhishma Dev found out, he became very upset, and he kind of entered into a state of grieving and depression for quite some time upon the learning of the separation from the Pandavas. So I wasn't exactly aware of those details, but Sudevi shared them with me, so I wanted to share it. But I did want to just reiterate, because we were speaking about dharma yesterday, because in this lila he took the side of adharma, due to that bad association and due to taking that side, then he was also one of those persons who had to be relieved of his body. And also, I misquoted, I said Srila Bhaktivedanta Bharati Maharaj said, but it was Sadananda Swami, the disciple of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada from Germany. I don't want to call him a German disciple. He's not a German disciple, he is a Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur disciple. And can you repeat, just say what he said in terms of coming to the path of bhakti and following the path of bhakti?
I can't remember it verbatim. I have it written down in my nectar book, but it would take me a while to find it. But he was saying, in essence, that as we are followers of the highest, most beautiful kind of faith, followers of Mahaprabhu, followers of Rupa Goswami and our Guru Varg, he said we will actually be better society members. We will be better mothers, better fathers, better children, better friends. We will...
Husbands and wives.
Yes, oh yes, definitely. Husbands and wives. He said because we are holding up the dignity of something most high, then our character will reflect that. That we won't dishonor our Guru, we won't dishonor this path by showing that yes, I'll give honor to the deity and to Guru, but to my husband or wife or my children or the society, that I basically turn a blind eye to everything. Once Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur took many disciples on Brajmandal Parikrama, And afterwards he spoke and he said, I noticed that so many were coming and only giving some donation to the mandir, to the deity in the temple. And then he explained it was because you don't see that Krishna is situated in everyone's heart. So he was showing that we also, if we see someone in need, we can give some compassion, we can help them, give them prasad, we should give them Krishna, we should do something. So Sadananda Swami was explaining that as devotees or aspiring Vaishnavas, that we will actually be better society members in terms of that. We will be better at our morality, better at dharma. We will uphold the Most High with dignity so that we don't bring any ill name to it or to our Guru Varg, and especially our Gurudev.
So this is very essential, and I just wanted it to be clarified where that particular quote came from. Of course, if you read from Sarananda Swami, and you see how Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada preached, he was manifesting the same mood. He was very near and dear to our Srila Prabhupada.
Non-sentimental.
And not sentimental at all. And very, very powerful preacher of the truth, uncompromising. Also in this connection, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Raghunath Das Goswami, when Raghunath Das Goswami ran away from home to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu told him, don't be like a mad person. You should go home and be like normal in the world. That no one can detect what is actually going on within your heart. It means that you should be a good person, good citizen. Be in a particular way, but always within your mind and heart, and culture this mood of loving service to Radha and Krishna. And then Mahaprabhu said, and when the time is right, Krishna will make all of the necessary arrangements. So really, this is the mood of the gopis. They have to be at home, but they're always absorbing their minds on Krishna. I was speaking with Vrindavan Vilasini today about this particular subject. If one is giving up their dharma of this world exclusively for the transcendental service of Krishna, then there's nothing higher than that. Guru nasasyat. One can reject their guru if their guru is against the service of Krishna. Their friends, their father, their mother, their husband, their wives. If it's directly for Krishna service. If we're giving up the dharma of this world, not for Krishna service, but instead taking adharma or for any other reason, then that will place us in the realm of immoral and even sahajya. So, when Mahaprabhu told Raghunath Das Goswami, you go home and be like normal in the world, but enculture your devotion, Braje Radha Krishna Manasa Seva Koribe, always within your mind and heart, serve Radha and Krishna. This is the perfection of life in any situation. Bol Hari Bol. Whether you're at home, whether you're in the forest, whether you're as a sannyasi, in whatever situation, whether you're at work, always chant the holy names of the Lord. If you can't do it outside, do it inside. Always remember Krishna and never forget him. So this particular subject matter is quite interesting because it's so essential for us as people who live in this world. We live in this world. We've got definitely, probably most of us, 2 feet in this world and at least one eye in this world. Maybe one eye is looking the other way and we're looking in both directions. We've got 2 feet in this world. So it's a gradual progression, an evolution of consciousness. Subjective evolution, individual, but still, according to our association, our consciousness will evolve, will progress, will develop until we become fully Krishna conscious. So, the example that Rupa Goswami gives, and this is quite interesting. I've told it already, but I want to reiterate it because we discussed it again today. The example Rupa Goswami gives, and this was in connection to what we were speaking about regarding Raghunath Das Goswami, is that just as a housewife who is meditating or pining for her beloved outside of the house, does not allow anything of her heart to be detected at home. She not only does everything perfectly, but she does it better, so that no one can detect the mood of her heart and her mind. Now I know it seems like a mundane example, but we must apply this example to Krishna. If we're applying it to any other thing of this material world, that is the most contemptible thing. That is what Srila Gurudev said in this book. The most criticized, the most contemptible thing. But if it is for Krishna, then it is the most glorified thing. But we still see that everything is done even better. Everything is done to perfection. The cooking is perfect. The sweet words, the accompaniment, everything is done in such a way that the inner mood of the heart and mind cannot be detected. Krishna likes this parakiya bhav. I don't know if I'm close enough. You might have to hold it closer. Okay, here's a picture of Sadananda Swami, the disciple of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada from Germany. There's a great, amazing history about him.
Maybe one day I'll find out when his appearance or disappearance day is and we can speak on him.
Srila Prabhupada said that we should honor him and serve him just like himself.
He said bow down to him.
Offer your obeisance and give him that honor and that service just like himself. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, once he was giving Harikatha and he stopped and he looked at Sadananda Swami. He said, Sadananda, he said, you and I, we have been together for all of eternity, right?
For an eternity.
For an eternity.
And then once Sadananda Swami said to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he said, I feel so sad and upset that I wasn't born in Bharatvarsh with all of the samskars and sukritis.
The impressions and the merits.
You know, understanding the philosophy and understanding all of these different, ancient ideals. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur became very strong and said, I am so glad. I am so happy that you were not born with all of these things that have nothing to do with the Atma and nothing to do with pure bhakti. Mm-hmm. That he can, like a blank slate of paper, write anything he wanted on him. And so he told Sadananda Swami he was more fortunate for being like a clear slate. Mm-hmm. Because sometimes, I think you would tell this, or maybe it was your father, that there was a music teacher and any new student, do you remember this? He would take...
It's almost like a joke. Maybe you may have heard something.
Your father
there were different... there was a music teacher and different students came and he was charging differently according to who was coming. And so for one person, it was like $5 for the month. The other person, it was $50, and the other one was $1,000. And they were like, but this doesn't seem fair. And he said, they asked him, why are you charging like this? He said, I'm charging only $5 for this one because he's a blank slate. So it'll be very easy to teach him new things. This other one, he's learned a little bit previously, but the wrong way. I can easily undo that, so he's $50. The $1,000, he's learned so much, but improperly. So it'll take me so much more work to undo all of the impressions, the wrong impressions he's been given, and replace. Srila Gurudev used to make a joke about this also.
But this should give us so much hope. That's why I wanted to add that. It's very hopeful.
Srila Gurudev would make a joke about this kind of idea also. He said there are some whose impressions are so strong, they're like a dog's tail. You can rub 40 kilos of ghee into that dog's tail, and no matter what, it won't go straight. It'll keep bending.
Sorry, you were speaking about the gopis doing everything better and everything being perfect, sweeter words. Sorry.
Okay, so I think we've made that point. If it is applied to Krishna, it is perfect. If it is applied to anything else, anything of this world, it is the most contemptible thing. So when we hear this example given by Rupa Goswami, it's not that he's glorifying the parakiya moods of this material world toward mundane personalities. He's glorifying the parakiya moods of Krishna's own beloveds toward Krishna. That mood of oh, he's not mine, but I only want him. So this transcendental love and affection, we should not mix the two. One is of this material world and one is transcendental. Atmendriya prativanchatare balekam krishnendriya priti ichat ghare premanam. This is in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. That verse states that the desire to please one's own senses, atmendriya priti vancha, to satisfy one's own senses, or even the senses of other materialists of this world, that is known as lust, tare balekam. Krishnendriya, the transcendental senses of Krishna, priti icha, the desire to serve or to give love and affection to Krishna and to please his transcendental senses, Hare Premanam. This is known as Prem, or divine transcendental love and affection. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada and most of our Guru Varga have proclaimed very boldly that there is a difference of heaven and hell between that transcendental Prem and the lust of this material world. We should not confuse the two. So on that note, I just want to make sure that the source was verified. So Sadananda Swami said that one would be a better husband, a better wife, a better father and mother. It means in this world, because they are focusing on that highest ideal, it will reflect also in their activities in this world. Not that they would be completely debauched in this world and then they would be transcendental there. These days, because of the nature of Maya and the nature of Kali Yuga, it becomes like this. Those who are in positions of authority, governmental authority, spiritual authority, gurus and sannyasis and whatever, it's considered that they can do whatever they want, and still they are the people of God, God's men, light workers or what have you, the people of God, even though they're doing all kinds of nonsense activities in this world. But this is not the nature of someone who's actually fully devoted to Krishna. Who has surrendered to Krishna? Krishnaika Sharana. What are their other qualities? 26 qualities of a devotee. And Srila Prabhupada did add a 27th. He said, I'll tell at the end. So 26 qualities. Kripalu, Akrita Droha, Satya Sarasama, Nidosha, Vadanya, Mridu, Shuchi, Akinchana, Sarva Pakaraka Shanta, Krishnaika Sharana, Akama, Anihastira, Vijita Sadguna, Mitubuk, Apramata, Manada, Amani, Gambhira, Karuna, Maitra, Kavi, Dakshamoni. So there's so many qualities. In each one of these qualities, there is not one of them that is not a quality that anyone in this world would look up to and think, my God, that person is just such an amazing, magnanimous, wonderful, well-behaved, exemplary person. Something to look up to. They are merciful, they're kind, they control their senses, they don't take more than required. They're always truthful, they're equal to everyone, they don't have any faults. They're mild and they're clean and they're without material akinchana. They don't take so many material things into their lives. They're completely surrendered to Krishna. They don't have material desires. They're very fixed and sober. They completely control the 6 urges. That is Vacha Vegam, Manasakrodha Vegam, Jifva Vegam, Udarupashta Vegam. They completely control those. Mitabhuk, Apramata, they don't have false ego. They're always giving respect to others. Very, very sober and grave, merciful, kind, friendly, expert in everything, poetic. They have all of these natures. And Krishna also speaks about this. Even among those who are in the mode of goodness, he talks about in Bhagavad Gita, those with the qualities of the mode of goodness. He tells all of those qualities. And then he tells qualities of the mode of passion and those of the mode of ignorance. And then those of devotees and those of demons. So you can see the divine qualities that Krishna speaks about. If someone is pretending that I am divine and they're only manifesting all of these demonic qualities, then we should question whether or not they're actually divine. Krishna gives us the tools, something to be able to detect, so that we can use some God-given discrimination. He gave us that ability to discriminate by telling us, this is divine qualities, this is demonic qualities, this is goodness, this is passion, this is ignorance. These are the 26 qualities of a devotee. And the 27th, I told you I would tell you that. 27th, one must be a little bit mad. What is that madness? That madness means from a material perspective, they just can't relate. That's the nature of madness. That if one is exclusively one-pointed to Krishna and saying, Hare Krishna, I don't want to hear about all of the nonsense of this world. Gramya katana shunibe. Oh my God, he's nuts, he's mad. We can't say anything to him. Like that one time we did a program in Houston, Texas. It was our first time really going out to preaching programs. And they invited us out there from California, so we drove for 24 hours and we were doing home programs, which they arranged, and pleased. And we're like, no, and we just kept giving all evidences from Shastra and from Gurudeva, and finally they just said to us, they're like, you're useless to speak to, you're too one-pointed. And we felt so much pride in our Gurudev at that moment, because he kept using that term, one-pointed bhakti. They're like, you are too one-pointed, we can't even speak with you. And then they tried to serve us prasad, and even the smell of it was so horrific, we wanted to vomit. And then later on, we couldn't take it. And later on, we discovered that they were part of a group that thinks that it's okay to eat meat and do all of these other things. And we thought perhaps there was something in there. But anyhow, the point was, this one-pointed exclusive bhakti mood that Srila Gurudev, that our Vaishnavas, that our Guru Varga give us, this creates, from an outside perspective, sometimes that there's a little bit of madness. And also if one is constantly absorbed in something, obsessed with something, that's a little bit mad also. That's why Srila Govinda Maharaj, when he speaks about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the greed of the Lord, how Krishna was greedy to taste the moods of Srimati Radhika, and trying to comprehend, being so deeply absorbed in her moods, so deeply obsessed with trying to understand what she is experiencing. This made him somewhat mad. So this is the nature also of those who are exclusive devotees of Krishna. It's even mentioned, there is transcendental prajalpa, premun mada, madness of prem. Eventually, all of us might get to that point. We must, hopefully, sooner than later. Evam ratasva priyanama kitya jatanurago drita chitta uchai hasatyato roti tiroti gayat yunmada vandrittati lokabahya. Unmada. Mada means madness. There's madness of the material world and there's madness of the transcendental realm. That madness of the transcendental realm is due to exclusive absorption in service to the object of our love and affection. Just like if you see anybody, they're completely obsessed and in love, you can't even have a conversation with them because they're just like, oh my God, I'm talking about that person. They're mad for them. In this material world, we're mad for all kinds of mundane things. Wealth, this kind of pleasure, satisfying lusty desires and everything. So there's madness of this material world. But as one is progressing on the path of devotion, as they're going deeper and deeper into the process, evam vrata, they're taking that natural, spontaneous vrat. They cannot even help themselves. Vrat means a firm, exclusive resolution that I will always absorb myself in kirtan. So, svapriyanama kirtya means to always chant the holy names of the Lord. Sometimes dancing, sometimes laughing, sometimes roaring, sometimes rolling on the ground, tears flowing from your eyes, hair standing on end, and Hasatyato, also laughing like a madman. Roditi, roti, gayati, unmada, vanritati lokavaya. Like a mad person, completely unaware of what the people of this world think. Lokabahya means the people of this world. So they might laugh at you, they might criticize, they might like this. So how do we reconcile the both? We've seen our Guru Varga, how sober and how strong and how deeply absorbed they are. So for service, it might be that someone can come out of that state and be in this sober state, the most dignified, but internally, completely mad for Krishna. And when they have their time to dive deep in their bhajan, where there are no other persons, we've heard about Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada and the kind of bhajan he was doing before he took this very sober mood of preacher and he took sannyas. He was like a mad person in Navadvip, wild, chanting and weeping and laughing and crying. And then he was given the order by Bhaktivedanta Thakur, his guru. You have to spread this. You can read this letter that Bhaktivedanta Thakur sent him before he departed from this world. It just says, Saraswati. You have to do this, and this. Don't neglect to share the message of Mahaprabhu. You have to maintain the dignity of this and do not compromise under any circumstance. So this is his guru giving him instruction, very strong and powerful. And how did he take that? That all that madness bottled up inside, and the potency that he had of that madness for Krishna, that prema unmada, the madness of divine love, how it affected so many hundreds of thousands and continued to affect through those hundreds of thousands, millions and millions of this world. So we should understand that that madness can also be kept inside, but still indifference to those who would criticize. They don't change if someone laughs at them or tries to criticize them. If they know the truth, why should they shift from that truth? That's what our Srila Prabhupada said. If we have the superior thing, why should we compromise and to accept the inferior thing? That is foolishness. He said we will never compromise the truth for the untruth. So on that note, how long will we be gone?
I'm still on.
Somebody said gone back. Oh, Jiv Pavana Prabhu.
I think it was just for a second.
Okay.
I refreshed in here and it came back on.
So now we will continue going beyond Vaikuntha together. This beautiful book is actually a transcendental treasure. The heart of Sri Sanatan Goswamipada in the form of Brihad Bhagavatamrita, the journey of Gopkumar, as revealed through the transcendental vision of our Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, through his beautiful Rasik and Bhavuk commentary. So we will pray in the dust of their lotus feet with the words of Raghunath Das Goswami. Vairaga Juga Bhakti Rasam Prayatnaya Rapayana Mam Anubhikshamandam Kripambudiryapara Dukhi Sanatanastvam Prabhum Ashrayami. Begging in the dust of the lotus feet that may even a particle of their moods, or many particles of their moods, which are present within these pages, manifest themselves within our hearts. So yesterday, Srila Gurudev was speaking about very interesting subject matter, because we are not ready to fully, exclusively submit ourselves as real servants. Most people don't understand this mood of servant. Real servant. Real servant means I am yours, and you can do whatever you like with me. As Mahaprabhu is telling in the mood of Srimati Radhika to Krishna, the last verse of Sri Shikshashtakam, Ashlishyava padartam pinashtumam adarshanan marmahatam karotva itatata vavridhatu lamprato mat prananatastu sa evanaparha. You can do anything you like with me. I am yours. And you are my prananath, and there is no condition to it. Prananath means Lord of my every breath. Prana means my own life. Lord of my life. If you want, you can embrace me, you can kick me away, you can reject me, you can embrace another in front of me, whatever you like, I am yours. And Bhaktivedanta Thakur says the same thing. Marobi rakobi jo ichatohar. Even if you want to kill me, Marobi, rakobi, or protect me, whatever you want to do, I am yours. And you are free to do whatever you like with me. And I completely surrender myself to you. To have this kind of surrender is not a cheap thing. It's not a simple thing. This is complete dedication. But many of you are parents. And as parents, you might be able to comprehend the idea a little bit. Because parents are not really, these days, the served. They are servants of their children. If your child was in extreme danger, I would say most parents I know would willingly give their life in exchange for the life of their child who is in danger. How can someone serve like that? It's because of love. It's because of affection. Srila Gurudev explained, he said devotional surrender is not the same as material surrender. He explained what devotional surrender is. He said it's not like someone is forcing you to do something. He said devotional surrender is based on love and affection. And he asked the devotee, why are you driving me from the airport? He said, because I want to. I want to serve you. And he said, this is devotional surrender. Because that desire is there that I want to please the object of my love and affection, therefore I will do anything for them. Willingly give my life if necessary. And many of us have also seen, I know I felt that way. If anyone were to threaten my Gurudev, I would jump in front in a moment. Even I've seen him coughing and sometimes mucus coming, and I remember looking at him thinking, if I could just take that into myself and he will be okay. So this kind of mood can also develop, even in this world, something of that. But to the highest extent that you can do whatever you like with me. I am yours. And no matter what, even if you give every reason for it to break, this feeling in my heart, not only will it not break, but it will continue to increase more and more forever. That is the definition of prema, or divine transcendental love. So Gurudev was saying, because we're not at that level, then Krishna comes to us in the form of Thakurji, the deity form, and doesn't speak to us directly, but accepts whatever service mood we have. Otherwise, if he would have imagine you're sleeping, it's like 2 o'clock in the morning, you had to stay up till 12:30 doing something because, you're teaching or grading papers or whatever it is, and then 2 o'clock in the morning, I want a foot massage. It's a bit difficult. Maybe you're exhausted and your eyes are rolling and you just want to sleep. But a real servant will put down their own necessity, their own desire to serve the object of their love and affection. That's the mood of a real servant. Real service means with love and affection. So, Jivera Swarupahoy Krishna Nitya Das. Das, or servitude, doesn't mean that something is forced or begrudging, but it means that the love and affection is so much within the heart that I'm trying my level best to always please, to serve, to increase the happiness, the pleasure, and the benefit of my beloved, of the object of my love and affection. and always endeavoring to better serve, to increase the quality of that service. That is why we must come under the training first of Sri Guru. And even growing up, even after taking birth in Vrindavan during the pastimes of Krishna, still we're raised under the care of Lalita Saki in the association of others who will teach us and properly train us how to serve Radha and Krishna. So some qualification is required. So Srila Gurudev is saying that we would easily become discouraged if the deity were to speak to us at any time of the night and say, massage my feet, or this has not been properly prepared, you should cook again, make it like this or make it like that. We might become discouraged. Like our Srila Gurudev told us when we first came to, I think it was 1998, we came for Brajmanda Parikrama, we went to Sri Keshavji Gauriya Math in Mathura, and it was right in the beginning, before Kartik began, he was saying, I have to be so careful with all of you, especially from the West. He said, if I say anything that even slightly pinches you, you will think, oh, I don't like Narayan Maharaj. And he said, and you will leave me in bhakti forever. He said, but with my others, those who were with me for so many years, he said, I know that even if I beat them bitterly, they will never leave me. So this is loyalty. Maybe a mistake is made, and heavy chastisement will come, but where do you have to go? If my foundation, if my floor is the lotus feet of my Gurudev, then I have nowhere else to go. Only the feet of my Gurudev. I have nowhere else to go. So I'm yours, please accept me, please forgive me, and I will try better. I'll give my best effort. So Gurudev here is saying we want to serve according to our own desire. If we have not even served according to the desire of our Guru, if we could not follow him properly, then how will we serve Bhagavan directly? That idea is illusion, that I can serve Bhagavan directly, but I won't be able to follow my Gurudev. Gurudev said, first and foremost, apply all of these principles, the 6 symptoms of Sharanagati, at the lotus feet of Sri Guru. This verse defining pure bhakti at the lotus feet of Sri Guru. Anyabhilashita shunyam jnana karmadhyanabratam anukulyena krishnanushilanam bhaktir uttama. He said, this Krishna, who is the first form of Krishna in our life? Guru Krishna. So everything which is favorable for Gurudev. Avoiding everything that is unfavorable. What is exclusively for? My Gurudev's happiness, pleasure, benefit. Of course, we should understand what is the function of Guru. Guru has nothing to take for themselves. So they won't try to enjoy the disciple. This should be understood. But still, these moods should be applied first at the lotus feet of Sri Guru. And Guru will take those moods and purify them and bring them into the service of Radha and Krishna. If we cannot first serve Sri Guru, then how will Krishna accept our service? He said if one does not properly serve and worship Sri Guru, then everything, all of their other endeavors in bhakti will be fruitless. Anyata nishphala bhavet. Everything else, anyata nishphala, without fruit or fruitless, bhavet, it will be. So this is the main principle, first principle, primary principle in bhakti. Ado Guru Parashray. First of all, take shelter of the lotus feet of the spiritual master. Only by taking shelter of and serving the spiritual master, Shri Guru Charana Padma, Kevala Bhakti Sadma. Only through this process can bhakti manifest and awaken in our hearts. If we are placed directly in front of Bhagavan and he says, do this service for me, can we do it? Could we do anything and everything he asked of us at any time? We are not able to do. Therefore, the deity remains silent. However much service we offer, he just remains silent. So Bhagavan has assumed all of these forms for giving mercy to the devotees. He understands that by no other means will we be able to serve him in our conditioned state. So he becomes the deity form, remains silent, and in the end he just accepts our obeisance. For this reason he has manifested these deity forms. That is very, very kind and merciful of him. We're so unqualified that we won't be able to serve properly, so he manifests Archa Vigraha, the deity form, to meet with our lack of qualification, so that gradually qualification can develop. Sukriti, spiritual merits, can be developed, so that one day we might be able to actually serve properly and directly. We will understand that the deity form is non-different from Krishna. But for now, he's still giving us an opportunity to be able to progress through or via the medium of the Archa Vigraha, or the deity form of the Lord. Now Srila Gurudev is going to speak about Ruchi. I love this. When Gurudev speaks about Ruchi, or taste, what is taste, what is real taste, and what is the proof of it, he clarifies it in such a beautiful and deep way that it helps us to be able to discriminate between what is real and what is unreal. And so it is very essential for us to pay close attention to what he's going to say here. There are many different types of ruchi in the living entities. So to accept service from them according to their ruchi, or their taste, Bhagavan has assumed different forms. So many different flavors or tastes, ideas, feelings are in the hearts of the jivas. And Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, as one approaches me, I reciprocate accordingly. So because of so many different flavors or tastes within the jiva, as they are approaching Bhagavan, he also manifests accordingly. Some will serve in dasyaras, that is servitorship, servant mood. Some in sakya, friendship mood. And some in vatsalya, that is parental mood. Why has Krishna become Laddu Gopal? Because then many people can worship him as their son. When women become old and their offspring have all grown up, they still desire to render the service of a parent. Women are so inclined towards serving children that not only will they forget about serving their husbands, they will even engage the husband in the service of the children. I swear I didn't read this in advance. But here Gurudev is saying that the parents become servants of their children. The wife will say to her husband, help me a little bit with the children. Catch that child. Bring some milk for the children. The children are sick. Call the doctor for them. Take the children to school. The sentiment of serving children is Vatsalya Bhav. So for them, Krishna has become Bal Gopal. For others, he becomes something else. But all of these deities are eternal. To accept service, Krishna has become the deity and assumed many forms, and he doesn't speak. I just want to reiterate at this point that he's manifesting because even within their material conditioning, they have some tendency toward something in this material world, and so they're going to take that nature toward the material and apply it toward Bhagavan. So in order to increase their bhakti sukriti, from wherever they're at, in whatever mood, he will manifest to them accordingly as any deity, and allow them to at least offer that natural devotional tendency, to dovetail it from the material toward the spiritual. But this does not necessarily mean that that is the particular nature of their Atma. Just because someone is attached to serving their children in this world does not mean that their eternal relationship with Bhagavan or Krishna is that he is their child. That would be superimposing the material onto the transcendental. What is the nature of their soul? This is yet to be revealed. When they come in contact with Sri Guru, then gradually this will be revealed. Divyam Jnanam, transcendental knowledge of my intrinsic eternal, inherent relationship with Bhagavan will be awakened within my heart. It's already present within in seed form. But for now, it's not wrong or bad. It's just not necessarily the real thing. And we've seen with Gopakumar, he also went to Vaikuntha. So there, they serve him with Aishwarya Bhav, in the mood of awe and reverence and opulence and offering so many prayers. But that is not his eternal intrinsic nature. So from there, he had to go on. From there, he went to Ayodhya. And there, they're serving Ram in so many ways. As a servant, he's the king. Everyone is his subject. So there's servitude, dasya prem, shanta, dasya, maybe a little bit of sakya, of Aishwarya kind, friendship mood. But still, Gopakumar was not able to fully express his nature. Then on to Dwarka, still. He just saw Krishna sitting there weeping. Why? Because he saw Gopakumar had a flute in his hand and was dressed as a coward boy. And then Krishna began remembering Vrindavan, and he just started weeping and weeping. And this created a terror in the heart of Gopakumar. His Krishna is not like that. His Krishna is not weeping upon seeing the flute like that. His Krishna, the Sakya Krishna of Vrindavan, is wrestling, playing, joking, bragging, killing demons, and having so much fun with his friends. So Gopakumar went to so many different places, but it still wasn't his eternal, inherent, intrinsic relationship with Krishna. So here we see that one has some particular mood toward some aspect of Bhagavan in this world according to their own current material nature. But still, in whatever way one approaches the Lord, it can be favorable in terms of helping to dovetail these material tendencies of giving love in this world, turn it toward Krishna. And gradually, by that purification, then our real intrinsic internal nature will be revealed. Just like Maharaj Parikshit, he told to his mother, Uttara. Uttara was the wife of Abhimanyu. Abhimanyu is the son of Arjuna. And Subhadra. Subhadra is the sister of Krishna. So, from this perspective, Uttara is the niece of Krishna. Uttara is the niece of Krishna through marriage. Right? Krishna's sister is married to Arjuna. Yes. Is married to Arjuna. They have a son, Abhimanyu. And Abhimanyu's wife is Uttara. Thank you. Needed that confirmation. So, in this world, that relationship was as niece. But after Maharaj Parikshit heard Srimad Bhagavatam, his heart was completely purified. He himself became a seer and knower of the truth. There's a secondary Bhagavatam, which is written, Laghu Bhagavatam. And in there, she comes to him and she says, now this is his mother, I couldn't understand all of the high philosophy. Can you simplify it for me, please? It was quite complicated. So in short, can you give it to me in short? And Maharaj Parikshit tells her, this relationship that you have of this world, where you're seeing that he's your uncle and you're his niece, this is not the reality. He said you should see that he is your beloved. So basically, by the influence of Shukadev Goswami, Maharaj Parikshit's own internal relationship, Swarup, in relationship with Krishna, was awakened, and he was able to see the truth. He became Tattva Darshi, and then he was able to reveal that truth to his mother. In essence, giving her Diksha, Divyam Jnanam, transcendental knowledge of her eternal relationship with Krishna. Divyam Jnanam and Kshapayati. This is Diksha. Divyam Jnanam is the Did, and the Ksha is Kshapayati. So the removal of all anarthas. So what anartha was he removing? That unfavorable mood that Krishna was her uncle. And he was giving her the Divyam Jnanam, the transcendental knowledge or or awakening that reality within her, that Krishna is her beloved in terms of madhurya rasa. So it's quite interesting. So, to accept service, so I just wanted to reiterate that point, that they're feeling this vatsalya love in this world, parental mood, and then they're transferring that to Balagopal. It's not bad, it's not necessarily wrong, but it's not necessarily their final destination. When one comes into contact with Sri Guru, take shelter of Sri Guru, because they know the truth, they're experiencing the truth, they can also awaken that truth within us. So, tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshina. They can give us that because they have experienced that, or they are experiencing that. Okay, so here Srila Gurudev is continuing on the previous, what he was saying previously. To accept service, Krishna has become the deity and assumed many forms. And he doesn't speak. If he spoke, then we couldn't serve him. At 1, 2, or 3 o'clock in the night, he may feel cold and require some service when his servant is in deep sleep. So what would happen if he always expressed his desire? Therefore, he remains silent and accepts our service. But if we suppose that he says nothing because he knows nothing, that is an offense. He doesn't speak or move, but we should understand that he sees everything. It's interesting, when Sri Guru does pran pratishta means literally, pran means life and pratishta means to manifest. So pran pratishta means to manifest life. When he's doing installation of the deities, he's doing pran pratishta. He's asking Krishna to come into that form, to receive the service of the devotee. And one of the principles of this pran pratishta, he puts his fingers over the eyes and chants mantras, basically opening the eyes, which means they see everything. We should understand that he sees everything. So for those of you who like to do nonsense activities in front of your Thakurji, not a good idea. Those of you who like to put a cover over your Thakurji so you can do nonsense activities, probably not a good idea either. Of course, Krishna can see everything everywhere, but there are some that turn pictures around. There are some that just do any kind of nonsensical activities in front, but their eyes are always open. So then we should be respectful and honor that they are watching, they are seeing. So how would we be in front of Gurudev if he's looking at us? And technically we should try to be at least that good in front of Krishna when he's watching us. Not only that, Srimati Radhika's watching, Mahaprabhu's watching, and this little baby here, Balagopal, is also watching. All of our Guru Parampara are watching. Giriraj, Shalagram. At the time of pran pratishta, while chanting mantras. Oh. So he doesn't speak or move, but we should understand that he sees everything. He knows the true scope of what we do, and we must accept the reaction to whatever we do. Therefore, in front of the deity, we shouldn't spread our legs, talk too much, become angry at anyone, or inordinately display affection for anyone. Before the deity, don't offer obeisance to anyone except for Sri Guru. And don't speak too loudly. There's so many rules and regulations for taking care of Thakurji. And if we violate those, then it is called seva aparad, offenses to the deity. All of these things should be given careful attention. So why does Guru give deities to the disciples? Why does he do prampratishtha? So that we can always be aware of Krishna. Always conscious of Krishna, or in other words, Krishna conscious. Then our behavior, our activities, everything will be in relation to Krishna, especially when we're in that vicinity or in front of them. So many things to consider. If in the deity's room there is fighting and arguing, and the pujari goes to do the puja with an agitated mind, that will be an offense. With a disturbed mind, we should not do the deity's puja. Wow. But he remains silent anyway. We take it that he sees nothing, but he is very merciful and sometimes doesn't even accept the offenses of his devotees. So he's saying with the disturbed mind, we should not do the deity's puja. This reminds me of what we spoke the other day. How Gurudev said, don't be angry. For so many other things, he gave the remedy for it. But for the anger one, he just said, don't be angry. You're not qualified yet to use anger in the service of the Lord, like Arjuna and Hanuman. He said, if you're angry, you will see only in red. He said, you will only be seeing everything through your filter or your lens of anger. And he said, and even if any great personality or Vaishnava, Mahabhagavat, you will also be angry and curse them. He said, so don't be angry. So if one has this mood in their heart and they're feeling livid, they're feeling anger and really frustrated and everything, Gurudev is saying, don't serve them at that time, because what goes through? One's mood. Krishna's not interested in all of the externals, it's the mood which is transmitted. So we should be careful how we approach the deity, we should be careful how we approach the pure devotee, how we approach the dham. So many different kinds of offenses are there, and we should be very careful. But still he's saying that Krishna is very merciful and tolerant. Sometimes he doesn't even accept the offenses of his devotees. Those who leave other types... Oh, let me just check here. What about uninstalled deities? How does service to them work? And does Krishna accept the offerings in the form of the deity installed by a Kanishta Vaishnava? So one is about uninstalled and the other is Kanishta Vaishnava installation. In reality, who has the power to give Krishna? O Vaishnav Thakur, Krishna se tomar, Krishna dite paro tomara shakati ache. Only one who has pure love for Krishna can capture Krishna within the core of their heart. And because they have controlled Krishna with their love, they can give Krishna. Who has the power to call Krishna to enter into this form? One cannot simply recite a few mantras and think that they have controlled God. That idea is a little bit ludicrous. That would mean that every time we're chanting Harinam, it would be Shuddhanam, because we have the power to call Krishna. So we shouldn't confuse ourselves with this idea that a Kanishta Vaishnava actually has the capacity to truly give Krishna. They are in the neophyte stage of devotion. That is the meaning of Kanishta. But still, Krishneti yasagiritam manasadriyeta, they're chanting the name of Krishna, they're endeavoring on the path of bhakti. They have faith in their guru and some faith in Thakurji, but they don't know how to honor other Vaishnavas properly. So within one's mind, one gives respect. who is actually following the process of bhakti properly, then you can do Dandavat Pranam, and who's completely surrendered 100% to Krishna, then one surrenders himself completely unto them. This is the 5th verse of Upadeshamrita, or the nectar of instruction. Who has the power to call Krishna? Only someone who has something can give that thing to you. Who has Krishna? Krishna is only controlled by pure love and devotion. So who has placed Krishna in our heart in the form of Harinam is pure devotee. Krishna has been placed there, not just Paramatma. Krishna, our eternal relationship with our Krishna is placed there in our heart by the mercy of Sri Guru. And so what is our chanting? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. It is our searching for Sri Krishna, reality, the beautiful.
You know, when you were talking about Thakurji and opening their eyes, I remember when Srila Gurudev gave me Sri Radha Vinod Bihariji, and it was in Vrindavan, in Rup Sanatan Gaudiya Mat, that he did Pran Pratishta, and he went in the altar room and they shut the doors. And I was standing outside and I was told they'll be hungry when they arrive, so I should have some sweets for them. So I was standing in front of the altar waiting for them to open the door. So Gurudev was in there for like 10 minutes or something, and then he came out and he looked at me and he raised his eyebrows like they've arrived, they've come. And then he smiled and kept walking. And about maybe a second and a half later, I hear the bells ringing and the doors swing open. And I'm so excited, and the pujari's like, quickly, quickly, give me sweets, they're hungry, they're hungry. So I gave the sweets and they started doing the offering to Radha Vinod Bihariji. And I was over the moon excited. Now I have Radha and Krishna. And then it hit me. Oh my God. He called them. And they arrived because of him. When he opened their eyes, they saw their pure devotee. And then all of a sudden the doors opened and it was me. I was standing there. And I actually felt guilty, like, oh yeah, it's me you're coming home with. But I remember that feeling of almost, oh my God, you came because Gurudev called you. And now you have to live with me. So, and then afterwards, Gurudev said, even when you leave your body, when you are no longer here, you are still responsible for them. And he has said the same in a way with our connection with Guru and our connection with our mantras. He says, even death will not break that relationship because it is transcendental and it is eternal. So anyway, when he was speaking about that and of Thakurji being silent, I remember standing in front of them and my first feeling was guilt. Oh my God, the first thing you saw was your pure devotee, Gurudev, standing there. And the next thing was, you're coming home with me. I felt really bad.
But Krishna is so merciful. He accepts to be called by Sri Guru, to accept whatever little service tendency that is growing in our hearts. And through that, gradual purification is given. Hopefully, if there's not too much aparad. Does Krishna accept the offerings? One thing interesting, Srila Gaur Govinda Maharaj would never offer his obeisances to uninstalled deities, those deities that did not have Pran Pratishta. If you've ever been to Loy Bazaar and you see them making the deities, they've got the forms in between their feet and they've got a chisel and a hammer and they're whacking at it. So at that point, we don't consider that Krishna, even though the form is there, but we don't consider that Krishna is actually directly there. Although Krishna is present everywhere and it's still that shape, only when Sri Guru does Pran Pratishta, then we consider that Krishna is there. So Srila Gaur Govinda Maharaj would not offer his pranam to those Thakurji or those forms which were not deities or forms of God. Deity means form of God. Form of God means the pure devotee has called God to be present specifically in that form. And Thakurji means the beloved of one's heart. So in Vrindavan, they don't like using the words deity, which is God, but they like Thakurji, which is the beloved of my heart. So,
You didn't answer the
no,
question.
that's what I'm looking at. So does Krishna accept the offerings? Now, if any pure devotee goes, and maybe there's some deity that has not been installed, but that pure devotee for one moment sees that deity form and somehow offers their pranam, at that moment Krishna becomes present, because Krishna is bound to their pure devotee. What did Srila Bhaktivedanta Maharaj say?
He said that even if a pure devotee sees the deity, then Krishna is present. He arrives there. But then he said that we are very responsible, because he said when the pure devotee asks something of Krishna, Krishna is dying to serve his pure devotees. They don't want anything from him. So he's trying in any way to serve them. So when Sri Guru calls Krishna to manifest in these forms, Krishna stays. He said he doesn't leave because the pure devotee has asked him, you stay here, you remain here and accept their service. So he said we are obligated to serve them, and carefully, because Krishna is present and he will stay and remain because the pure devotee has not asked him to leave.
Some people, they say, okay, well, I have to go on a vacation, so I don't know who's going to take care of my deities, so let me just put a blanket over them or lay them down or whatever, and then I'm going to go on vacation. And for that whole week or two, nothing has been offered, no one has taken care. This is very severe seva aparad, Thakurji aparad, and Krishna aparad, because Guru asked him, you stay in this form, and so that means we are neglecting. And also, if we do put them in the care of anyone else, we have to make sure that they're taken care of properly or appropriately, not that they're neglected or mistreated or abused, or that someone is offering them substances which are not offerable to them as well.
Devaki Didi is saying most people have uninstalled deities,
Yes.
and this goes along with the other question, actually.
Yes.
Are you going to?
Yes. Unless you wanted to answer that?
Well, I just wanted to say that, first of all, Krishna says, as you surrender to me, I reward you accordingly. So as we turn to Krishna, Krishna responds to us. But we know that we don't approach the Lord without first approaching his pure devotee, whether it's in a picture form or whether it's in the form of the deity. So whether Thakurji is installed or not, it's according to the devotion in our heart. And also, we go through Gurudev.
Yes.
Before I begin in the morning, Uttishto Tishto Shri Guru Taja Nidram Kripamai, Gurudev, please wake up, wake up. It's time to wake up your Thakurji. Then I do Achman to Gurudev. And then I do the Mula mantras for waking up Radha and Krishna. Go Gopa Gokulananda Yashoda. You know, you do all of that, but you're assisting your Gurudev, and you're having the mood that your Gurudev is doing everything, and you are handing the articles. You are helping with washing their mouths. You are helping with doing the service of offering them any foodstuffs. So just as when we chant our Harinam, it's the same thing. We don't just pick up our mala and begin to chant, but first we enter. First, Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda, we offer our respects to our Gurudev. We enter to Krishna, to our Parampara, to Mahaprabhu. Even when we're doing our bhajans and kirtans, we go in a sequence. First, we approach Gurudev. We approach Vaisnavas. We approach Nityananda Prabhu. We approach Mahaprabhu. Then we approach Krishna. Then we approach Srimati Radhika. And then at last, we approach Mahamantra, Harinam Prabhu. So in the same way, whether it's a picture or whether they're installed, if we are first calling Sri Gurudev or praying for the mercy of those pure devotees, then that is offered. As much love and affection as we have in our heart, and that we have surrendered to our Gurudev, we can call him and he will do that offering for us. And therefore Krishna must accept it, just as he must manifest, whether it's in a picture or the form like this. Ramya Devi just asked a question.
Regarding installation, Sri Guru invites Krishna, opens his eyes. He opens his eyes to see his pure devotees. What if new deities face installed deities of Krishna where pure sadhu isn't available? Could Krishna invite himself into new deities? Krishna can do whatever he likes, whenever he likes, however he likes. But generally he follows a particular pattern or principle. So really it is a matter of the devotion in the heart. If we just try to go directly to Krishna, of course, as we mentioned before, it doesn't work like that. But if we go to our Gurudev, hey Gurudev, I am just your servant. I want to offer something to Krishna. I want my heart, something of my heart to be offered to Krishna. Will you please assist me? Will you assist me, and may I both ways? Can I assist you, or will you assist me to be able to offer? This is the function of Guru. Guru is the connecting principle, the connecting point between us and the Lord. So if we really want to serve Krishna, then we must take shelter of Sri Guru, and via the medium of Guru, who is service personified, ashray tattva, that is service personified. Through that medium, we can hope that our service will somehow attain to Krishna.
Something just came to my mind, and that is, just as so many devotees were praying to Srila Prabhupada who never even met him, I want someone like you. Please manifest again in a different form, in some way that I will recognize that same substance. And for some it was Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj. For some, Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj. For some, our Gurudev. So we see that our prayer, if it is sincere, then Krishna will respond in kind. And always, if we go to his mercy potency first, that overrides all rules and regulations. Srila Sridhar Maharaj says, above justice is mercy, and even above mercy is love. So the fact that our gurus have accepted us, the fact that we have a mood to want to offer something, anything to Krishna, will melt the heart of the pure devotees, and therefore melt the heart of Krishna. And that we can consider has been offered.
We should also be, in this regard, our Gurudev said, if one doesn't know anything, if they're completely ignorant of anything, and they just pick up a straw, some dry straw, and through that medium they're praying, if God, can you hear me? Through this medium, can you hear me? I have a prayer in my heart. I want to know the truth. I want to know who I am. I want to know, are you real? I want to know what is real love. Gurudev said, even if you're just praying to that dry straw, he said, because Krishna is present in everything and everywhere, that Krishna will take that sincerity and will arrange for the necessary association so that we can progress. So it's not that we should think that Krishna is not present. If we see that form and it reminds us of Krishna, or that picture and reminds us of Krishna, but we know that maybe any pure devotee has not done pram pratishta, but still if our heart is sincere and we want to develop that love and affection for Krishna, Krishna says, Teisham satata yuktanam bhajatam pritipurvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayantite. If one really wants to worship him with love and affection, pritipurvakam, then he says, I will give dadami buddhi yogam tam, the necessary understanding, yena mam upayantite, by which they can come to me. So if one has got some sincerity in the heart, and they're approaching Krishna in any way, maybe even as a child, maybe we're doing it in a childlike way, but still there's some sincerity, then Krishna will arrange what is necessary for us so that we can gradually make progress. And then as we are progressing, it will become more and more real. Before we received Radha Vino Bihari, Sudevi and I made our own Thakurji out of clay. And what is it? Raikanai Kanha. And he was painted dark blue, and she was very beautiful, and we loved them, and we worshipped them, and we dressed them and everything.
What? Go on.
Do you want to tell?
No.
Okay. And when Srila Gurudev saw, he told Sudevi, he said, they're nice, but something is not right. I want to give in my own mood. And he recognized something that wasn't right, and we didn't realize it. He saw immediately that Krishna's leg was crossed the wrong way. It was going the opposite direction. And Krishna's legs cross in a particular direction for a particular reason. So Gurudev said, they're nice, but they're like toys for children. I want to give you in my mood. So in the beginning, yes, this was our intention. We wanted to serve Thakurji, and we were serving them. We were offering everything to them. We were worshipping them, doing artis and everything. And then gradually, what do you want to say something? You want to add something?
No, I'm listening.
I feel like I'm missing something.
No.
Okay. Then gradually, over time, when we met Gurudev, then he adjusted and he gave from his own heart, his own mood, and his own the proper mood. And he instructed us how to serve them. So over time, gradually, then it can be manifested. So maybe in one way it might be like child's play, like he said for us. This is for children, and then he gave in his own mood. It doesn't mean that it was unfavorable, but it gradually became more and more favorable until he gave us Radha Vino Bihari and Sachinandan Gaurahari in his mood. So at this point, it's getting late now here at 7:45. So thank you very much for being with us and giving us the opportunity to remember and share the beautiful teachings of our Gurudev. And we were very fortunate this evening that Sudevi was excited to share so much. She knows so much more about Thakurji, Tattva, and all of these beautiful lessons than I do. Srila Gurudev instructed we should learn all of these things and that we should also share them with other devotees. So we really appreciate that you've given us the opportunity to remember and to share this. Srila Gurudev ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Rupananda Guru Varga ki jai, Gaura Bhaktivedanta ki jai, Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Gaur Premanande Hari
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 Bol.
Bol. So thank you very much for being with us today and staying as late as you did and giving us the opportunity to remember the beautiful teachings of our Gurudev and our Guru Varga, and for engaging us in our Guru Seva. For this we are extremely indebted to all of you.
Thank you so much for joining us.
And we look forward to being with all of you tomorrow. Hopefully Sudevi will add more of the beautiful inspiration that she's received from Gurudev tomorrow.
Tomorrow's Ekadashi as well for us.
Yes, so
And Thakurji will be changed.
Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna Radhe
Radhe Radhe.
Bihari Ju
Ki Jai.